Hi everybody, this is myself and Colin on LEB Live, and we're going to be bringing you some alternative ways of Dakar and inside information relating to Dakar. And I've had the privilege of pushing it live for quite a few years and following the racing, and a lot of people follow what I did. And Colin's been on Dakar, so what you're going to get is some inside information from both of us. Colin, now we're leading up to the start of Dakar. These guys have done their testing, they've packed their boxes, and you've been there. What is going on right now before they get to that podium?
Okay, so right now the bikes are just going off. We've got a live stream coming in here now, and quietly they're having a few gut-wrenching moments, and it's squeaky bum time. Have they done all the right checks? Have they got everything that they need to go? And actually, apart from the nerves, it's right. Let's get this thing going. You know, for a year now, just less than a year, everybody's been preparing, redesign cars, built the things, changed logistics, changed clothing, changed the way they do things, management, cars, all sorts of things. And now it's time for action. It really is. And today's a bit of a it's an iffy day. There's 230 odd Ks of a liaison. There's a 31K blast. It's more of a spectator stage. Blast through the sand, and a couple of tactics could come out. It's going to be interesting.
Now, from what you did over there last time, it's been logistics. I mean, getting away from the guys that are going to be in the show, which is Janelle, Alatia, and all that. What is the rest of the team sitting doing? Because that's quite a large team that's over there, body-wise. A number of people that are behind Toyota, behind Renault, behind all the South African team. What is that team? What would you be doing right now, sitting at this stage?
Driving flat out towards the next bivouac. You know, Gary, there's probably about 60 South Africans there, mainly with the Toyota Gazoo South Africa racing team. But you've got Stewie and a couple of his guys looking after the Dusters.
That's Stuart Thompson.
Stuart Thompson, yeah. Dusters are built here. We've got an incredible amount of South African designed and built in Joburg, and a couple in Pinetown, racing cars, but designed and built in South Africa.
Now,
world-class racing cars.
Just on that, when you say Pinetown, that must be
Neil Woolridge.
Neil Woolridge is building the Ford.
Building the Ford, yeah.
Okay, fine.
Okay,
Then the
so
other guys building in Johannesburg here would be Terence Maas with his Nissan.
With a Nissan Navara.
Okay.
So they're running a V8 Nissan motor in it, and with a solid back axle, a good solid car. I don't expect they haven't really got a top team. They're probably the quickest ones they've got are the Schroders, father and son driving it. Run by another South African connection, with Scotty Abrams out of Germany.
South Racing. Okay,
yeah, in
yeah.
Germany. So he's got one of the most interesting jobs. He's running an Amarok, a Toyota.
Now
Hilux.
just to get it, that Amarok was built in South Africa by Stuart Thompson
In the same workshop as the
two
Dusters.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
Okay, and Stuart is probably a kilometer away from Hall Speed. The shed, and you know, there's a fair amount of logistics cooperation, and if you had to look at our motorsport valley, it's probably Midrand around Kyalami at the moment. So Stuart's built the two Dusters. He's built Amaroks. There's two Amaroks on the race as well. And then going back to South Racing, Scotty, and the challenge that he's got, he's running a Ford Ranger, a VW Amarok, a Toyota Hilux, and a
Nissan Navara.
And a Nissan Navara.
That's right.
So he's running 4 different cars. So from a logistic point of view, you've probably got 4 individual service allotments and spares packages.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a train smash. Whereas if you go back to Hall Speed and what Toyota Gazoo Racing South Africa are doing with, they've partnered very closely with Overdrive this year. Overdrive based out of Belgium. They've run NASA in the Rally Raid Championship that they won. They
That's
are
right,
proper
yeah.
good. So they've teamed up really, really close. And there it's a very, very slick operation. But of course, we haven't spoken about them Frenchmen.
Well,
because this is war.
No, well, yeah, but it is war. In fact, this is the not quite World War III, but it's war.
Yeah,
between two countries.
This is South Africa versus
France. End of the day.
But South Africa with a little bit of Japan support. So you've got France with Vive la France with a might of Peugeot and Total and French Pride and some say ASO and FIA and all the rest of it supporting them. And you've got a bunch of cars that are designed and run out of the shed in Midrand by Glyn that are probably world beaters. And this is the final showdown. Peugeot are pulling out.
Are they pulling out at the end of the series? That's their last year.
This is their
Dakar?
last Dakar.
Okay.
So Sebi Loeb, if he wants to win it, the
Has to
pressure's
do it
on
this
him.
time.
Okay,
Well, the same goes for Carlos Sainz.
well, exactly.
Because he crashed out big time on stage 3 last year.
I'd put a little side one on it that Carlos does it again. The guy is super quick, but hey, the crashes are spectacular. He's almost the Maldonado of X-Road racing, off-road racing. So you've now got Peugeot, Stefan Peter Hansel,
Yeah.
probably retire after this. Carlos Sainz probably retire. This is the last shot that Sebi Loeb has got. He hasn't delivered with all the skill,
And the hype.
prowess, and the guy's unbelievable in a rally car.
Yeah.
Put him in a raid car, he's won nothing. He's crashed a lot.
Yeah.
And they've been big crashes. So this is the pressure. He's got super pressure on him. And then there are a couple of other things that start swinging the whole balance.
Just talking
around.
about that and talking about the balance. There's been a couple of changes for the 4-wheel drives and the Peugeots, which are 2x4-wheel drives. I mean 4x2-wheel drives.
Yeah.
And one has been given something and
Petrol,
one has been
diesel.
lost thing. So what is the actual main
So-
changes between that in the car category?
So let's go back a couple of years, and the buggy category, the 2-wheel drive category, was always designed for privateers.
Right.
Peugeot, being very clever, looked at the rules and decided, right, they can build as a factory team, they can build a proper car within those rules that'll go and drill everybody. It took them a year to learn, and then they actually went and did it, and they did it proper.
Yeah.
And they've spent mega money and resources. You want to see this army march? It's a sight to behold. So the ASO and the FIA have tried to bring a little bit of parity to it. And
Okay.
ultimately what's happened is that the buggies get a little bit heavier. The 4x4s, which is everybody else in the top class, they get a little bit lighter, they get more suspension travel, which is probably the biggest thing.
Oh, really?
So they're bringing them a little bit closer on the
Okay.
technical side of it. So in the super rough stuff, where the buggy just goes over big stuff, and I think as normal people we can't really comprehend what these things. It's like riding off the first story of a building. The buggy will just land, bomb, and carry on going, whereas the 4x4 would be a bit lumpy, and now it's a little bit closer. They can
Okay.
go through enormous holes, like things that would swallow a normal Mini. These racing cars just go
Straight over.
straight over the top, flat out. They don't even blink. It is mind-blowingly eye-opening when you sit in these cars and you actually see what they can do. So they've tried to bring the Peugeot or the buggies a little bit closer to the Toyota.
Fine.
And then 2 days ago, the big crunch comes where they turn around and there are 2 other announcements that were made. One, no maps in the car. No map
All right,
whatsoever.
we'll get to the map stage because I know you've got some very interesting stuff, but we'll get to that maybe on one or two other stages. But and the other thing was
No smartphones.
when you
So
mean, when you mean smartphones, nothing like an iPad or an
iPad,
iPhone.
no iPhone, nothing that can have pictures and stuff in it
Oh, really?
on the elite drivers. So that's probably the top 20 odd cars in it, because there was a huge fight last year about who had iPhones in the stages, and particularly on the navigation side of it where you get lost, and there are all sorts of rumors about all sorts of things with iPhones. But anyway, let's leave it at that. So now you're not allowed to have maps, you're not allowed to have phones, and the 2-wheel drives have been throttled back a bit, the 4-wheel drives have been given a bit of go. So now the war, the last stand, this is Napoleon against South Africa, and I hope we're going to win it.
Now, talking about that, we have the likes of Nasser Al-Attiyah that has won so many of these rally raid things in Europe and Dubai and
Yeah.
China and that sort of thing.
Dakar twice.
Dakar twice. Do you think today on the opening stage, with only 37 odd kilometers long, do you think he will take it?
I'm in two minds, Gary. The one is NASA is a racer, all out, flat out. One of the most spirited, guys with confidence that I've ever seen him behind a racing car. But I think that after last year, where stage 3, I think it was, where he was actually leading the race overall, and
It was actually stage 2.
Stage 2, he took a bit of a risk. I mean, we should remember that. That was the darkest. And just to see a team go from the level of confidence and just, in a good place team go to plumb the depths of sadness and almost depression when that car got broken up properly. But he was going flat out. He hit a rock. The rock didn't move. This back suspension did, and I think that he's learned a little bit from that.
Okay.
So instead of going at 100%, he might go at 99.8, which today is short. The biggest thing is tomorrow's 290 odd Ks in the sand.
So what would the great plan be today for these drivers? Would it be advisable to try and win today's stage so you're first on the road tomorrow? Or would it be advisable to maybe hang back and let somebody else open the road for you tomorrow?
Depends how confident you are in your navigators.
Okay.
And it might be a bit of a strategy to let Peugeot go out there and let their navigators start feeling the pressure with their no maps. And there's some detail on the maps and why they're so important, but we'll talk about that later. But the maps in a Peugeot are a distinct advantage, a really, really big advantage. So now they don't have those maps. I think that the first day we've had no real motorsport apart from Raw in Daytona. So the first headline, the big headline of the year, is going to be who wins the first stage.
That's right, yeah.
I reckon NASA's going to do it. The guy's quick. It's a short stage. The time differences won't be very big, and he'll go flat out, and he's going to win today.
Colin, I thank you for your time. And those of you out there that are watching, don't forget, you can watch Dakar live on Facebook. But from tomorrow, we'll be bringing you live coverage and what we do on Dirty Sweat, giving you some alternative information about Dakar. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Cheers.
Cool.